When Mark first told me he wanted me to meet someone, I thought nothing of it. My husband had always been sociable, the kind of person who collected friends like some people collected stamps. He thrived on connections, introducing people, creating networks. I never questioned his motives, at least not then. It was a rainy Tuesday evening when he brought it up over dinner. "Emily," he said, swirling his fork in his pasta, "there's someone I think you should meet. He's a good man, dependable, smart, interesting. You two might get along." I smiled, assuming this was one of Mark's little social projects again. "Is he a potential client for you?" I asked. Mark shook his head, his lips twitching into a half-smile I didn't recognize. "No. He's someone I trust. I think he could help you see things differently." I didn't understand what he meant, but I didn't push. Mark often spoke in riddles when he was trying to surprise me. The next day, I met Daniel. Daniel was nothing like I expected. He was confident but not arrogant, warm but not overly familiar. His eyes had that calm, steady way of looking at you, as though he saw past the surface. From the first handshake, there was something disarming about him. We met at a quiet cafe downtown. Mark sat with us, sipping his coffee and occasionally throwing in a comment, but mostly letting Daniel and me talk. It was odd. I wasn't sure what Mark wanted out of this, but I felt an unusual pressure, as though there was something unsaid hovering in the space between the three of us. Over the next few weeks, Daniel became a recurring figure in my life. We'd meet for lunch, sometimes with Mark, sometimes without. The conversations started casually, work, hobbies, news. But slowly, Daniel began to ask me more personal questions. "What do you want out of life, Emily?" he asked one day. It caught me off guard. I hesitated before answering, realizing no one had asked me that in a long time. Not even Mark. I'm not sure anymore, I admitted. I guess I've been so focused on being the person people expect me to be that I haven't really thought about what I want. Daniel nodded thoughtfully. Maybe that's something worth figuring out. That night, I lay in bed next to Mark, replaying the conversation in my mind. There was a strange calm in the way Daniel listened to me, a patience that made me open up more than I usually did. One evening, Mark told me he wanted us to spend the weekend at a cabin outside the city. "Daniel will be there too," he said casually. The cabin was beautiful, tucked away in the woods, the air crisp and scented with pine. The three of us cooked dinner together, laughed, and played old board games by the fire. But beneath the laughter, there was a growing tension, a sense that something significant was brewing. It was on the second night, while Mark sat quietly by the fire, that Daniel and I had a conversation that shifted everything. "You've been holding a lot in," Daniel said softly. I stared at the flames, my voice barely above a whisper. "I've been lonely, Daniel. Even when Mark is here, sometimes I feel like we're miles apart." Daniel didn't respond right away. He just looked at me, that steady gaze making it hard to keep my guard up. Mark's voice cut through the silence. "Emily," he said gently, "I asked you to meet Daniel because I thought maybe he could help you in ways I couldn't. I wanted you to have someone to talk to, someone to connect with." His words hit me with a mixture of gratitude and confusion. Gratitude because I knew he cared enough to try. Confusion because I didn't understand how he could watch me build a connection with someone else without feeling threatened. Over the next few months, my relationship with Daniel deepened, not in the way people might assume, but in trust, in shared truths, in vulnerability. He became the mirror I didn't know I needed, reflecting the parts of me I'd ignored. Eventually, Mark admitted something I hadn't expected. "Emily, I picked Daniel for you because I thought I was losing you. I thought if you had someone who could make you feel alive again, maybe you'd come back to me stronger." It wasn't the traditional way to fix a marriage. It was messy, unconventional, and at times painful. But strangely, it worked. Daniel helped me rediscover parts of myself I'd lost, and when he eventually moved to another city, I found myself more connected to Mark than I had been in years. Sometimes love isn't about holding on tightly, it's about knowing when to step aside, even if just for a moment, to let someone else help heal the cracks. And while people will always have their own interpretations of what happened between the three of us, only Mark, Daniel, and I truly know the truth.